At Christmas, my true love said to me, "So help me God, if you mention me in your stupid bar association thing, I will slit your throat." So you can understand the pressure I'm under up here, because my true love did reactivate the old law license this year, went back to work, but throat slitting over here. So it's kind of a balancing thing. My true love is a prosecutor in the Peoria County State's Attorney's Office. It's not Jerry Brady. Jerry was weirdly specific, though, in describing the job duties to her. She's a prosecutor in the juvenile division. Jerry said, "I want you to go in there and prosecute the shit out of those little kids until every goddamn District 150 kid is behind bars when they go in." And she was like, "Jerry, I thought Democrats were supposed to be soft on crime." Did it? No. On the second day of Christmas, my true love said to me, "If I see one more Jim LaFonte ad, I'm going to slit my own throat." And I think we can all agree on that. It makes you wonder, like in a geopolitical sense, how much more are we going to take out of France before we stand up and do something about this? They've already given us mimes, dudes wearing berets, unconditional surrender to Germany, and now Jim LaFonte. As a side note, Le Fonte is actually a French term for incoherent legal argument. But for Jim's part, Jim is very proud of his heritage. He actually had one of those DNA tests done, and it turns out he is actually descended from French royalty. This is true. It turns out he has the interpersonal skills of Pepe Le Pew. He's got the dashing good looks of Gerard Depardieu. And he's got the just general irritatingness of LeBeau from Hogan's Heroes. Nothing happened on the third day of Christmas. On the fourth day of Christmas, I was walking through Kroger. This is a true story. Minding my own goddamn business, by the way, and Peoria's very own Bob Coletta walked up to me, tapped me on the shoulder, and he said, "Hey, I just wanted to tell you that I really appreciate the show that you and the rest of the people put on for the Christmas thing." And I was touched, I really was, and so I said the one thing that seemed appropriate under the circumstances. I said, "Bob, why is your hand on my ass?" On the fifth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 5 golden rings in accordance with the text of the song. And I was like, "Whoa, hey, slow down there, Mariah Carey. Like, I get it, we've got 2 incomes now, but we still got 2 kids in college, so, dial back on the jewelry purchasing stuff." Nothing happened on the 6th day of Christmas. On the 7th day of Christmas, I'm driving to work, coming down Route 29, and I get passed by Jay Jansen right where it splits off into Jefferson Street. And Jay passes me and he's driving his pearl white 1986 Rolls-Royce convertible, which is the car that you should drive if your daily commute takes you through like the most economically destitute area of town. But the thought occurred to me, I don't know if Jay will ever hear this, but I think the last time I saw somebody driving that particular make and model year, it was like Captain Von Steuben on an episode of Love Boat. Which is to say that I have no doubt that thing was like a total babe magnet back in the Carter administration. But like up here in 2016, anybody in this room could pull up eBay on their phone and buy that car for like $12,000. So the wow factor kind of isn't there anymore. So Jay, if you can hear me, if you really want to impress us, I want to see you drop like 400 grand on whatever it is that Kanye drives. Then I think I'll be impressed at that. But until then, he kind of just looks like an old white guy driving around looking for a Shriners parade. On the next day of Christmas, this actually happened. This isn't even a joke. Woman goes to a drive-thru, woman orders food, woman, being a woman, stops, checks her order, it's not right, drives back through the drive-thru to notify the drive-thru attendant. Drive-thru attendant snatches the bag, disappears for a minute, comes back, hands it back to her. She pulls forward again, now she's suspicious, checks it again. And at this point, I will quote from the police report that has actually been filed with the Peoria Police Department. At that point, she notices that her order smells like urine and vagina. That's the town you live in. I know, right? And honey, make up your mind. Which one is it? You know? It's true. On the 10th day of Christmas, I decided, as did all the cast members, that the best way to ensure our success as lawyers is to make fun of the judges who will be appearing in front of. So I would like to recognize our fine members of the judiciary. I, first of all, would like to congratulate all of the 10th Circuit judges for helping Judge McCuskey find his house keys every night before he goes home. That's a big service. Probably the biggest news among the judiciary this year was the big Who's Cusack throwdown. Cusack, if you're into the name merge thing, or if you're not. I was actually kind of surprised. I thought Judge Cusack kind of had that thing won when I saw his campaign slogan. I don't know if you saw it. His slogan was, "In the time it took you to read this, I just had another kid." Because he's got like a shitload of kids, right? Yeah. Like a lot of judges, he's getting rotated out into a different assignment. He's going to miss working close to Judge Schoenbein down there in the juvenile division. Schoenbein actually asked to be transferred. He did that when he found out that abuse and neglect was a description of the cases he was hearing, not an instruction manual on how he was supposed to treat the attorneys in front of him. Don't do that. Because is it me, or does he just seem weirdly pissed off about doing a job he applied for like 17 times in a row? On the 12th day of Christmas, honestly, I ran out of material, so that's all I've got, okay? But I'm not done. And I apologize to the committee at this point, because I'm going to go rogue on this. I'm going to break the fourth wall. They don't even know I'm going to do this. But I would like to gift you and you guys a 13th day of Christmas. I want to end on a positive note of hope for the future. This has been a year of division and divisiveness. I think we can all agree on that. And so I'd like to point out kind of a positive thing, because as you were all focused on that, as you were all going about your miserable lives, whatever you were doing, love actually blossomed in the 10th Circuit, whether you knew this or not. And I'm speaking specifically of Peoria's very own Jeff Green and Judge Corey's clerk, Amber. And as a special request, they have asked that I deliver to you the keynote toast that will be delivered at their wedding sometime next year, whenever that is. So I can see some of you scratching your heads like, who are these two people? So just to make sure we're all starting on the same wavelength. Jeff Green, can we get a picture of Jeff? Jeff, you may is a local attorney here in town. Amber, can we get a picture of Amber? Amber is Judge Corey's clerk, okay? Pertinent to my remarks, Jeff is, I believe, 42 years old. Amber is 23, okay? I can see you're all doing the math. No, not how many times does 42 go into 23. It's 0. It's 0.614. No, this is the math you're all doing. That's a 19-year age difference. I think that used to be called in the olden times a May-December romance, or in this case, Amber may be legal in all 50 states by December. But what is it about these two that makes their love so special? I'd like to start with Jeff, because Jeff and I are pretty close. Jeff is like a lot of us. Jeff is a guy who finished law school several years ago, stepped out into the big world, looked around, and he said, somewhere out there is a smoking hot 6th grader. All I need to do is look around until I find her. You know, as is typical for these kinds of things, you can talk to the groom and the bride and say, what is the special thing about your relationship? So I did that. I said, Jeff, what's the highlight of your relationship so far? And he said, well, the moment we met, which you can actually see, live on TV. It was recorded. If you go to YouTube and Google, I think it was episode 6 of this season's To Catch a Predator. Caught it right there. classic boy walks down street, barely legal girl yells out open door announcing she has fresh baked cookies. It's just a love story that writes itself. But what did Jeff see in Amber? Jeff said she's intelligent, she's beautiful, she's not threatening me with a can of mace. All the things that made Jeff want to make her his wife, and correspondingly make every day take your daughter's hot friend to work day. What about Amber? Amber's a little bit more of a mystery. I asked Amber, what did you see in Jeff? Because God knows none of us can figure that out. And Amber said, well, it was easy. She said he had a driver's license and he was super awesome at doing my algebra homework, so everything she wanted in a guy. Like most intelligent bachelors, Jeff has pretty much handed all the wedding planning over to Amber, so Amber's been busy doing that, and it's going to be a fabulous affair. You're all invited, by the way. Amber will be wearing a custom gown. It is from the Gymboree Wedding Couture collection. It will be a catered affair. Amber has already ordered 250 Lunchables and juice boxes. Guests will be able to choose from a peanut butter and jelly or a bologna entree. And she's planning the honeymoon, too. They're all set on that. They have reserved the bridal suite at Monkey Joe's for the entire wedding. So they are hooked up. There has been some bumps along the way. The biggest fight they've had so far is the first dance. What are they going to dance to? Amber and Jeff can't quite come to a decision on that. Jeff, he wants either Hey 19 or just Me So Horny by Two Live Crew. Amber's leaning more towards Father Figure by George Michael. I don't know if they've come to a decision yet. There have been some adjustments for Amber, too. Jeff has to keep reminding her that that engagement ring he gave her is an actual diamond. That is not one of those ring pops that you get at the Harvard Fair. So that's going to change. And probably the biggest thing is Amber has to keep pinching herself and reminding herself that depending on if and when they are blessed with children, by the time she is Jeff's age, it is entirely possible she may be changing 2 different kinds of diapers. Because Jeff will be like 70. So on that note, I didn't bring my glass out here, but please raise a glass, because Amber may discover at Jeff's age, this is the only thing that's raising up. And toast the newlyweds to a long